the Atlas Post. If you're wondering what happened to your stimulus money, you might need to let the IRS know that your address has changed. If you're watching this video, you probably need this info for yourself or for someone else, so please hit the like button with a thumbs up and subscribe to let us know your appreciation. And here's my favorite of all. If you listen to the end, you will find out the toll-free number to contact the IRS if you want to talk to them in person regarding your EIDL or your stimulus funds. So what may be the holdup? Well, if you didn't provide your bank account information, the IRS will hold your economic impact payment until they receive your updated address, because usually what they do is use the address that's on your last tax return. So this may be because you didn't file a tax return, your tax return went somewhere else, you don't know where it is, but first of all, we're going to start with you need to change your address. So, here's the other reason. The IRS receives your payment back because that post office was unable to deliver it. Maybe you moved. We will update your payment status to need more information on the Get My Payment application, at which point you will be able to enter your bank account information. Now that, of course, pertains to the bank account information. And if that doesn't work, and it's not working on how shall we say it, on your bank account information, it's always good to let the IRS know that your address has changed. So what do you do to get them to know that your address has changed? Well, there's several different ways that you can go ahead and do this. And here's the other thing is, if you are waiting for your stimulus money and you're waiting for a check, note that you are not going to be receiving a check. Your stimulus payment is now coming as a debit card, and it comes in a plain white envelope from Network Cardholder Services. Some people have accidentally thrown this away or thought it was, well, let's just say they did not realize it was their stimulus money. Okay, so they don't have it. So either A, you need to give them your address, or B, you need to get a replacement card. Either way. But let's go ahead and go over the different ways that you can tell them that your address has changed. And first of all, you can do a written statement. And there's several different ways. So we're going to go over the forms, written statement, oral statement, and we'll come back to the forms and go over that. So in the written statement, this is basically you send them a handwritten letter or typed written or computer written, however you want to write it, with your full name, old address, new address. And this is really important because you need your Social Security, ITN, or EIN number. If you do not include that information, they will not know how to cross-reference it. So mail your signed statement to the address where you filed your last return. Oral notification, which means you're calling them, or you're telling them in person or by the telephone. And you need to verify, of course, the same thing: full name, new address, old address, date of birth, Social Security number, ITN or EIN number. And don't be surprised. It says we may request additional information to verify your identity. Just presume that they're going to. So your driver's license, your ID, passport, maybe Social Security number if you've got a card, something like that. Also, if you filed a joint return and are still residing with your spouse, both you and your spouse should provide your name, Social Security numbers, and signatures on the form or statement. And if you filed a joint return and you have separate addresses, each of you have to notify the IRS of your new address. The other thing that I've seen couples do is they still talk. And so one of them already has the payment and they get the payment from the other to go ahead and share. But this presumes that you have not received it. But either way, if you move, change, the IRS does need to know your correct address. Also, authorized representatives filing a form or written statement to change an address can also be done by your power of attorney. The changes of address to the U.S. Postal Service may update your address of record on file with us based on what they retain in their National Change of Address NCOA database. However, even when you notify the U.S. Post Office, not all post offices forward government checks, so you should still notify them. Yeah, I would highly recommend that. So if you're filling out the forms, this is Form 8822. This is a change of address, and this is for a change of address for a home mailing address. Going back to this Form 8822, this is available online. I'm going to also include the link for it down below in the description. But this is important to note is you cannot file for this online. You have to mail in the form. And also the IRS, as you know, like most government agencies, is understaffed. They're overworked. They've got all these extra claims that they didn't plan. They have I would presume hired more people. I know the California EDD has hired a lot more people, but they're just getting trained. They're just trying to figure out what to do, and they're trying to make it all work. So just be patient. Know that it could take some time, but here's the great part is if you get this in right now, maybe you'll get it sooner. Well, actually, maybe you'll get it in a month or two instead of waiting to get it as a tax credit on your 2021 taxes. Also, after you fill out this form, on the back of it, it tells you where to send it, and it changes where you send the form based on where you live, based on what state you live in, and it's included in the form. So, for example, someone sent it to Missouri, Texas, Fresno, Austin, Texas. There's also another form that you can fill out, which is 8822-B. This changes the responsible party. This is not intended for your home address, though. This tells you business location, employment, excise, income, and other business returns and employee plan returns. So that's another form that you can use, but I'm presuming if you're looking for your stimulus check, you probably want it to be sent to your home address versus your business address. So that's form 8822. Remember, we said that you could go ahead and give them an oral statement and give them your change of address. That is still possible. Now, this takes some looking because they really don't want you to call them. They'd much rather have you mail it to them and do it online because, well, let's just say their offices are closed. They are extremely limited in personnel. However, if you need to call them, call 800-919-9835. That's 800-919-9835. That's your bonus for today. That's the telephone number for the economic impact payment and any questions that you might have. That is, okay. That's a good one. Also, when you fill out your information, make certain that you fill out the street address correctly. If you've been at home, you know that the post office has its own way of entering your address. For example, it may be 123 and Main Street instead of writing 123 North Main Street. Go ahead and take a look at what your post office includes for you. But this is the phone number, 800-919-9835. And that one is totally a bonus one because that one took some looking. So thank you in advance for helping to support the Atlas Post on Patreon. We bring you news relating to finances, the stimulus bills, CARES Act, assistance programs, step-by-step, how to, and more for those who like to get tips and hear their news. Please leave your comments as we do review them, and it helps us determine which questions to answer as do our comments on Patreon. If this has been helpful, share it with a friend, and we would appreciate a thumbs up. Check out our playlist and subscribe for the latest updates. This is the Atlas Post. Have a joyful day.